What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. I'll be honest, this video idea kind of came about from a TikTok that I made, and I thought it would definitely be worth if I made a proper YouTube video on this to really dive into detail about it. I'm not too sure what I've probably named the video yet, but this video will be mostly aimed at people who are trying to find their footing with trading, or if they're sort of losing interest with trading, or if they're kind of a beginner and they don't know what they're doing. And essentially the main point to tell to all of those sorts of people is that they have what it takes to become good at trading. They're just not using it. And so that's where I'll start, actually. So a lot of us, we come into trading with this sort of mindset. We kind of like pedestalize it because obviously it's this amazing tool that we can use to really change our life circumstances, right? But with that, it means that if we pedestalize things like that, we sort of change our perception on how we feel about doing these sort of things. If something was easy, for example, then you'd go in with such confidence, you'd think it's nothing, and you'd put so much hard work into it, and because you know eventually that you'll get what you want, right? But things like trading, where there's a lot of word on the street about what can happen to you when it comes to trading, you can become very either overconfident, or you could be set back very much and be on the back foot a lot. So when it comes to trading, you actually already do have what it takes to be a good trader, but you're just not actually using it. And like trading, everything is just a part of the game of life. Now, I'll tell you a story, right? So when I was younger, as a kid, the way that we would measure how our sort of social status was within our own friends, within our own school, was by how good we were at playing games. Partly, anyway. I'm not saying it was completely based on that, otherwise I'll get some people telling me, oh, you had such a shallow friendship in school. But yeah, no, it wasn't completely based off of that, but being good at games obviously meant something, right? Now, as guys, as men, as boys, we are very competitive. We are very competitive when it comes to these sort of things. And so that's what we fueled our biological, how we are biologically, I guess you could say, into games. Now, when you're playing games, obviously, being good at games meant that you had certain things within games, like, I don't know, a certain rank or a level of experience, because having a certain level, right? And that would show how good you were at games. And so you have to kind of basically apply this with trading too, because the only thing that differs now is just where you're putting your energy into. Because if you were a gamer, for example, like me, I wouldn't say I was that completely hard on games, because some of the games that I played, I wasn't even interested in them, but because other people in my school were playing them, I wanted to join in. I didn't want to feel left behind, right? Because talking about these games, playing these games, was part of our social life and contributes to our social status. So if you were a gamer, you have what it takes to become a good trader, right? The only difference is that you have to change your perspective, change your trajectory from something that's meaningless and brings no value to the world and is in a completely virtual, safe environment, to something that's in real life, which can actually change your life, which can have real life repercussions. So I'm not saying that you should be gamifying trading, because as I said, there are real repercussions now to this, but the same hard work, drive, and commitment that you have to getting good at games, you can bring this over to trading. I'll be honest, I'm not someone who's completely, I'm not really enthusiastic about trading and the economy. I don't find it that interesting, especially with the terminology that some of these people in the finance industry use. I just don't find it interesting. But the only thing that does interest me is making money and changing my life circumstances. And so I can push past all of that bullshit and get to what I need, which is to be good at trading and become consistently profitable at it. So before you kind of push trading to the side because it's not going your way, because that's essentially what's going to happen when you start for the first time, you're going to find out it's not going to go your way, and then these sort of doubts and loss of interest comes in. You were most likely the same when it came to playing games, but because your social status and your social life was dependent on this, you don't want to be called shit at playing games because no one will play with you then. You'll be by yourself, you'll be lonely, right? And so the same thing's here now, except this is real life. This is adult responsibilities. You don't want to be left behind in life, because how we measure ourselves nowadays is with money and what money can do for us. Everyone gets a job, they work a certain profession to earn a certain type of money. I'll be honest, in a typical Asian background, a lot of us are urged by our parents to become doctors or lawyers or surgeons, engineers, things like this, because it comes with money. This is how we measure ourselves, right? In society. The same thing I could say about if you were good in school, a good boy in school, like you got good grades. Obviously, we know now that school doesn't really mean anything, so it was kind of wasted effort. But that's also something that happened in my school, where it was, if you had good grades, you were considered like someone who was quite intelligent and knew what they were doing. I wasn't the smartest kid in school, but I'd say I like to got above average grades. So again, this hard work, drive and commitment that you have in putting it towards, studying, revising, getting good grades, the things that you would do to get good grades, all those hours, you just have to move your trajectory from that to trading or whatever business you want to do. It's the same thing. It's just the fact that there's now real life repercussions to it. Essentially what I'm saying is, you have what it takes to get good at trading, and having a loss of interest or not having things going the way you wanted it to be the excuse for you not achieving your results is actually mediocre. Because back when you were in school, when your life pretty much depended on it to keep progressing and not fail, same thing with games, to progress your social standing, because your life depended on it back then, it should mean even more now when it comes to trading. The last thing I'll say is, because, as I've just said, now you're moving to the real world where there are things on the line now, this should be pushing you even more to want to get good at trading, because you can do it, but it's just when you allow silly, mediocre doubts like losing interest or things not going your way stop you from doing those sort of things, you'd feel even more regret knowing that you could have been someone who would actually do well in trading. Obviously, because you're not seeing the physical, real reflection of that at the time, it doesn't encourage you. But obviously, the more belief that you have that it's going to work, the more you can visualize in your mind that it's going to happen. And this is one of the first steps you have to take in order to get good at trading, which is to be able to visualize it and then manifest it. And then eventually it will happen, right? Whether you want to believe that or not, sure. But at the end of the day, hard work, commitment, and drive. You've been doing this your whole life. It's just that you've been doing it for the wrong reasons. For reasons which don't actually benefit your life whatsoever. Like getting high grades at school, playing and getting good at games, like, I don't know, getting Prestige Master on Call of Duty. Stupid reasons like that, right? You could even say it's about like playing sports too. When I was in school, like playing football and being good at football also meant that it would also contribute to your social standing as a person within school, right? And us being boys, we get very competitive as well when it comes to playing football. So I was playing football, but I have no interest in football whatsoever. But I was playing it anyway because this is what everyone was doing. If you wanted to have a friendship or a social life when it came to school, then you just had to get involved whether you liked it or not. So doing things, especially when you don't feel like it, definitely applies back then to useless things like that. So again, change your trajectory, change your perspective, focus your interest on trading or whatever it is you want to do, any business endeavor, whether you like it or not, because whether you have a passion for it or whether it interests you is irrelevant, because if you have the hard work and the work ethic, you don't need to know or need to have a strong passion for it. You're not someone who's going to get turned on by trading. You're not someone who's going to get turned on by selling bricks. That's the biggest facade when it comes to making money. Because at the end of the day, it's about how you do it, how you deliver things to the market. Passion will only get you so far. So that was essentially everything I wanted to highlight in this video. I hope it really hit a lot of you, especially those who had a similar sort of background and experience that I had when it came to growing up. Because again, I had what it took. I had the work ethic, I had the work drive, but it's just that I never had it pointed in the right direction. I was shooting my gun to the wrong target. So that just about wraps up for this video. If you enjoy transparent content like this, then leave a like on the video and subscribe. It would really help me a lot and show me that I should keep pushing out content like this. Leave a comment as well letting me know what you thought about this video and how it impacted you. I'll leave a link to my TikTok, as I said, where this video came from, in the description below, as well as links to all my other socials. So I appreciate if you listen this far. Thank you for watching. Stay happy, stay blessed, and thanks for watching.